Can you hear it? Welcome to Relay.
Hello, everyone. That's all there.
Hi.
You can hear me, I hope. Did I? Yes, I did. So you can hear me. It's time. Hopefully everything goes right and is happening, and that's up, and there's named and I tweeted. Did I do an announcement in Relay? I did not do an announcement in Relay.
I will do it.
You got it? Okay. While I do the intro, of course I did that because I'm dumb. Nakara will do. I'm dumb. I'm also really tired. Okay, an intro. Hello. My name is Eris, and I egregiously err towards the arrogant. It is time for the relay station. We are but motes in Shiver's eye, dust, sand, drifting, swaying, waving. We flow like time, inch by inch, Nakara by Nakara, with the soundtrack guiding us to the inevitable, provided by the Auto DJ.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the relay station.
Hi.
My eyes hurt.
Greetings, space listeners. This is the Auto DJ. You're listening to the Relay Station, provided by Relay.
I feel like the Auto DJ, despite being inanimate, is the most chipper of us currently.
Yep.
That is the number one complaint I get about being at the base.
Get it? He's chipper? Because he's a computer chip?
Good night, everybody.
Ow.
I'm sorry.
I was damaged by that.
I'm sorry. So for anyone that doesn't know, Nakara and I streamed for like 2 hours, 12 hours ago, at 2 in the morning, my local time. Streamed some space stuff. So I don't know about Nakara, but I'm super tired.
You're not even going to tell the second part of it?
There was a second part?
Yeah, you went to bed and then I streamed more in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's true. But that is not what we are here for. We are here to celebrate the Auto DJ's birthday. Wait.
Incorrect.
Crap, what are we here for?
I think we're here to give a lesson in pot making.
Pot making, okay.
Yeah.
So you get yourself a
ceramics.
plant. You get yourself a plant.
Pot making.
You grow it for a while.
No, not that type of pot.
Oh.
Ceramics.
Oh, okay.
I think that's the only thing we're here for, right?
There wasn't anything else that happened this week, that's for sure.
No.
This is one of those weeks where we say that and it's actually like not being facetious.
There is
Okay,
some stuff.
well, Mr. Auto DJ, it's been a while since you were last on. Can I call you Mr. Auto DJ, or is there a like non-genderized?
Mr. works just fine.
The.
My programming is based upon a male persona.
Okay, excellent. So, Mr. Auto DJ, it's been a while since you were last on. How you doing?
Functional.
I suppose that's good.
I am
Wait.
operating within my operational parameters, so yes.
Excellent.
Does this make Shiver manual DJ?
He is one of our live DJs. Yes.
Okay.
I prefer the term unlive.
Well, he does host Dead Air.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those days. So,
Hi, folks.
Yes, and why?
let's talk about
I
some.
do love the fact that I called it dead air because people like me have a reputation for not having any sense of humour, and then I go and call it dead air, and the name is a pun on the music as well, and it's like I'm a failure as a person.
What, Shiver? What are you talking about? The British have excellent senses of humor.
I'm not touching that one.
Okay.
Of course,
I know
it's a
our
concept.
humour does not
You
translate.
can't touch concepts physically.
Challenge accepted.
So let's talk a little bit about what happened this week in Star Citizen. For the non stuff that we're going to show off, we can't really show anything. But I guess Evo Cody went to 3.5.
Wait,
Yes,
what?
Yes.
Well, kind of. I guess that's true, but
The other
It's
way
a
around.
chunk of it, isn't it? It's not the full. They're not getting absolutely everything in the full one, are they? It's getting released in smaller chunks. Is that right?
They've been doing that more now, haven't they? Just
yeah, I think the flight model is the big thing they want to test right now.
we also can't really show off the flight model because, I mean, CIG. Let's be completely honest. CIG do keep trying to show off the flight model, but
It
it
just
ends.
looks like people flying around.
It looks like someone flying a ship. So, what have you guys heard about the new flight model? I believe they talked about it a bit on RTV this week.
So
Yeah, I agree with that. Shiv, you're low in volume.
I will. Put
sorry,
them up.
audio level fairies visited me last night. I will work on it. Thank you.
Man, those are some very specifically named fairies.
They released with Windows 10.
Yeah. What have I seen with the new flight system? Well, I don't know. It looks better, but I really have to play it to really judge much about it. I mean, part of the whole idea is to get the atmospheric effects in, I think, so that'll be interesting to play with.
What do you think, Otto?
I am looking forward to trying ships out in it, but beyond that, until I am able to simulate them properly with my sensors and everything, I can't formulate a proper opinion of it.
Yeah,
I completely agree with that.
I think that's pretty much where everyone is stuck. It's
I need to play it.
yeah, I need to fly the flight model because otherwise,
There's a good theory behind it that we're aware of. In combination with the news about the turrets and the slight auto-aiming,
yep.
which I'm sure we'll get to later, you are able to concentrate more on your flying.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only going to be a good thing if it matters. You know, we've had flight models before where it really encouraged almost like melee combat in space. You know, very close, very visceral combat.
Totally.
Yeah, and missiles were useless. We've also had near enough the exact opposite end where it's like, am I hitting that pixel or not? I'm not sure. And no matter which way it went, it really didn't matter that much if you were on someone's six. It wasn't exactly as much as it could be. It didn't feel action-packed. It didn't feel like I need to make different decisions and different tactics. It didn't feel like I necessarily need to be completely situationally aware. And that seems what they're aiming for. But Aggro Knuckle also hit something bang on the head that I'm worried about is too much drift.
Well, question on that drift is that specifically too much drift when flying in space above the recommended combat maneuvering speed? Or are you within those limits of your combat maneuvering speed? Because that's what your maneuvering thrusters are able to compensate for.
I'd like to see that start being more of a determining factor. Like, you can move completely like one-to-one accurate when you're within those combat maneuvering speeds, and then when you start stepping out of it, yeah, you can still step out of those combat maneuvering feeds. You can go faster. You can push your ship more, but it's going to get flighty and drift and fight you on it because you're pushing it beyond. I do want to really quickly, Bryce Arena asks in chat, did anyone play the new flight model at CitizenCon? I did. I sat down at a computer at CitizenCon and picked up the HOTAS and tried to fly, and there were no instructions and no control scheme and no idea what anything was doing, and there was no one to explain what was going on, and it was a completely different control scheme than I was used to, so I basically just crashed into the magical circle around the arena.
So it was no different from normal then?
Exactly.
I was gonna say you were trying to be Chris Roberts.
I was 100%. I am as good a flyer as Chris Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Edgar Knuckles said too drifty in Atmo. Yeah. I noticed. I did notice that the especially like the ground vehicles still looked pretty, or the hovering ground vehicles look pretty drifty. But I need to play it to see how it feels. I know that's a cop out, but
I think my biggest problem with the ground vehicles is I wanted them to feel more like motorcycles than like weird planes.
like hovercraft.
Yeah. Well, they don't even feel like they should feel like the pods in episode 1 Pod Racer. Because that game had the feel of driving along super fast, close to the ground, dodging things, but snappy response, but also that game felt phenomenal, and that has always been my wish for like the Star Citizen land, not vehicles, but like the hovery vehicles. Episode 1 Pod Racer. Personally,
The question with that is, how would you reproduce that particular style of gameplay using the physicalized model that is used within Star Citizen?
that I don't know. Yeah.
I would quite like to see something very similar to the hoverboards from Back to the Future 2, but on a bigger scale. Something a bit not as tied to the ground. Something that if I'm in a particular dark canyon, I could switch it 90 degrees, run along the something like a bit more chaotic. But I that's probably asking too much, I think. But I would love something like that, a more chaotic anti-gravity vehicle.
Let me take a look at this. Yeah. Yeah, the Star Wars speeders and pods, I guess, to me, kind of grab what I think it should feel like, but CIG are also going with something that, like, it can fly too, right? So it's a bit, yeah. I don't know. I'm all over the place on them. We'll see where they land after this next update and how they feel in 3.5, and then we'll probably be able to reevaluate. Because again, we don't know how it feels to drive or fly.
It'll also probably change a lot during Evocati as they start to get more feedback on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else before we start getting into the stuff from around the verse?
Yeah. I got nothing.
I'd like to turn this into a weekly thing until something changes. With all due respect to CIG and content teams, we need some more content. Can we please have some more stuff, news? I don't want to sound ungrateful, but paying the same amount for a sub, getting less content. Sorry, more please.
Yeah, you know what? Let's actually talk about this. So Auto DJ, the rest of, like, Shiver, Nakara, and I have all complained about this a couple times of there just not being much information that comes out, or at least not nearly the amount that we used to have. Do you feel the same? What do you think?
In a way, yes. The issue with the lack of information is a lot of stuff that is coming out. It's not necessarily visual, or it's something that they want to keep hidden so that they have more large, shocking developments. One reason that they have tuned this back a little bit is so that for things like CitizenCon, they have ample things to showcase. Yes, it's not so much a thing right now because CitizenCon is so far away.
Yeah.
It does bug me a little bit. I think the thing that bugs me more, and this is very self-centered of me, is I don't like the fact that we're getting a $13 spacesuit for what amounts to $60 to $120 as far as the flare goes. That's one thing that does bug me a little more than even the content thing. Because the content, okay, well, that's going to come out as it comes out.
Yeah, I understand that.
I feel just though like one of the things we've been asking for, or at least we here have been talking about for a long time. I really need a haircut. Sorry.
We've been talking about the need for haircuts in Star Citizen.
We have. No, but we've been talking about the need for what happened to Chris.
Well, he's obviously doing something.
But what? We don't hear from him anymore, really, right? Like we don't hear from Chris. We don't.
Well, I mean, anymore is the January and February.
We hear from at CitizenCon, but then when he shows up in an ATV, it's not even to really answer questions. It's to talk a little bit.
But all of those really good ATVs with Chris and Sandy were like in December.
Yeah,
But yeah, we haven't seen him in quite a while though.
We haven't seen him in a while.
Wonder where he is.
ATVs are dropping in content.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had it as a post. Like
They also cut a show without adding another one, which has happened quite a few times in recent years.
There's just not as much for us to talk about, and it's getting a little hard. And there's more to play now, right? Like at the same time, there are streamers have more to play, and there's more that happens in the game, and like we watch it every week.
Is it enough?
I don't think so.
Because these streamers, Bad News Baron, right? That's his full-time job. Is there enough for him to keep in Star Citizen? Because there's not enough repeatable content.
Yeah, I agree. Not yet.
You do need to make your own fun if you want to make a job of playing Star Citizen.
Yep. Especially right now.
And so here's my problem. We don't need stuff to see, right? It's really nice to see things. And I understand a lot of why they've stopped showing us things because the community is terrible. And think of grabby hands. They showed us one concept for grabby hands, and then for like a year and a half, all anyone would talk about was grabby hands because that's all they cared about. When they showed us one brief concept, right? So they don't show us that early concept anymore as much. They wait until things are further along. Why, thank you. They wait until things are further along so that they can show us something that's like not in the concepting stage, right? But what happened? What happened to written, like?
You are right. It is a bit of a catch-22 for them, isn't it? Look at the one of the more recent ones with the AutoAim with the turret. They had the quite large radius, and they had to explain when the game comes out. They are going to shrink the radius.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it is tough to call. I would like them to see, even if it's just 10 minutes every week, 5-10 minutes every week, they get random dev in and says, I've been having fun, I've been working on a bit of this, I've been experimenting with lighting effects, or I've been.
But they used to do
something.
that, right? They had a show that did that.
Yeah, but at the same time, to play devil's advocate to myself, I can understand that they're fucking busy guys.
They're busy,
there's got to be a halfway.
and they have a marketing team now. And the marketing team may well have to sign off on it. They have to be very careful with what they present because of all of the negative feedback and salt that has been generated by the community over any individual change that they don't agree with.
So I have a question for you then, Auto DJ, and for the rest of you.
Certainly.
Is the marketing team a good thing?
In and of itself, it can be. It is something that they will need to be able to promote the game as something that is new and up and coming, and actually get it into the hands, eyes, and ears of people who are not familiar with the game or have heard nothing but negative publicity about it. Unfortunately, they have kind of waited a long time to be able to market it, so there is a lot of negative publicity about the game out there that they have to work and overcome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious to see, so there used to be, at one point there was 4 or 5 shows a week, right?
Yeah.
Now there are 2, and one of them is 15 minutes long. And the other one's a live show. And ATV being 15 minutes long, that's a long ATV now.
Yeah.
The one the week before was 8 minutes. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think that subscribers need something more.
Triangularity's right. I miss the studio updates too.
Yeah, me too.
I really liked those, when that whole year that they cycled, each week was a different studio talking about what that studio was doing. I thought that was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was good too.
The counterpoint to having the updates as frequently as they did, what would you want them to give updates on? What content can they show us that they haven't already shown us? Oh, we've changed this little tiny bit of physics this week.
Well,
Yeah.
It would be more than we get now. What state the physics grid's in right now? I know they've had trouble with them in the past, but have they got past these problems, or have they still got more? Have they got past these problems only for more to surface? Because I'm not a dev, but I find the whole thing fascinating. I would love to know what's going on. What problems have they had, just from a curious standpoint? What have they had to solve to get them? I'd be interested in things like that, even though most of it might go over my head.
I think Tofu Der Fleischer in chat is right. They said, we're going to cut all this and we're going to give you awesome ATVs instead. And for a good while, they did. The ATVs were fantastic, but they have...
Not this year, they haven't been.
No. So...
I understand, that Jared was gone for January, but it's been a month.
Anyway, I'd like to see a little more information is all I have to say on that. But
more.
I
do have to start. I'm actually at the point, I've been subscribed forever.
Yeah.
And I actually have to look at it and go, what am I actually getting right now? Which is not a whole hell of a lot, I gotta say.
Yep.
The only reason I haven't cancelled my sub is because I'm still on the old rate. They increased it for the difference between the euro and the pound. If you were already subscribing before, they didn't.
Right.
So I'm sticking with the old rate.
Right.
I've been subscribed now for, oh my God, 47 months. No, 52 months. Sorry. No, 62 months. There you go, 62 months total.
That's pretty good. Okay, I want to move us on to some of the stuff that was shown in ATV this week, because we're almost to question time. That said, give us your questions. Because if we don't get your questions, we don't answer them.
Wait, we don't answer the non-existent questions if we don't get the questions?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Good to know.
Okay, so what are we going to start with here? They keep showcasing like streamer events and people doing cool stuff in the game every week, which is nice.
I do like that. Yes. But it's usually like 30 to 60 seconds.
Yeah. Which that's kind of all I want them to showcase, but it is neat to see what people are doing in the game. Yeah.
It also shows you the game is definitely coming along.
Yes. This I thought was actually really cool, this work in progress here of ArtCorp, because we saw it, 2 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, the ArtCorp's looking good. Although, I thought you might lose your mind over what they're doing. But
why do you think?
Because they're putting in a transit thing between the port and the actual city. Again.
I like the pun that they unintentionally did. The tram's going to be on the rails. I love that.
I don't. I've given up and just accepted that 97% of Star Citizen is travel time.
It really is.
At least it's pretty travel time.
It's beautiful.
It's gonna get on your tits.
It's gorgeous. It's just, you know what?
We have Stormy Winters in the chat.
Hey, Stormy. How's it going, Stormy?
Hello.
I mean, I'm gonna end up like picking a planet and never leaving it.
You're gonna be a farmer.
I'm gonna be
now. You're gonna have your space shotgun out there on the porch.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna sit there.
Warm today. Gonna be warm tomorrow.
Warm every day.
So, speaking of the game being the vast majority of it simply being travel time,
Yep.
how long until you think we have additional Moby mods that are simply minigames? How long until you think we will have an entire department dedicated specifically to developing minigames for the Moby class?
9 months.
I'm just waiting for CIG to take over Turbulent and then have Turbulent make nothing but Mobiglass minigames.
Deal. I'm in.
That would make sense.
Darge has decided that he's going to live on his Carrack and only go to Civilization to restock.
But that's what you're going to want to do. It's going to be like, I could go down to ArtCorp, but it's 20 minutes down, then 30 minutes to my house, get the piece of paper that I want, 30 minutes back to the spaceport, and I'm in a reclaimer, so it's 97 hours back to space. Or I'll just stay in space. I don't know, it looks so great, and it's such a great idea, and it's so realistic that you forget that one of people's biggest hates about a transit system like the bus is that you get on the bus and then you stand on the bus for 4 hours, and the only good thing about that travel time is that you get to open up your phone and check Twitter, because guess what? Nobody wants to drive in a straight line when they're not actually doing the driving. They want to do something else. But if I'm in Star Citizen and I'm like, I'm gonna take a train, and then I pull out my real life phone and I'm checking Twitter while playing Star Citizen.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, Shiver.
In many ways, though, is It's one of the mechanics that's going to encourage people that are more familiar with the game veterans, to fuck off out of civilized space,
Yes.
where they can just go to a planet, where they can put their reclaimer in orbit, get in a little Argo, land at any point that they bloody want to, get someone with a Pioneer and start building, I suppose. And if you're a bit new to the game, then you're going to start in the green zones and things like that. But
Yep.
just an idea. I don't know. Just an idea.
I think they may also build in a lot of things like, hey, while you're quantuming, you can refine in your Orion. Or while you're quantuming, you can fix your bloody ship. Or while you're quantuming, you can do research on the Zen or the Endeavor. Or like so on and so forth.
Yeah. Walk around your ship, maintain it, maybe tune it in orbit. Yeah, yeah.
What do you think, Otto?
Yeah, that is also part of the mini-game aspect, because we will need things to do while we're traveling. I feel bad for pilots who are going to end up remaining sitting in the pilot's seat the entire time just in case they get pulled out of quantum. Think of how frequently we had random events that pulled us out of quantum in some of the prior patches. If that becomes a regular thing, well, we've got a slight problem.
Yep. Well, and honestly, you kind of want, like, one of the things that everyone has wanted since Star Citizen was announced was Star Citizen being Firefly. And they don't always man the cockpit in Firefly, right? Like, there's a couple episodes where something happens and they have to drop whatever they're doing and run to the like, it's that whole idea is going to exist, but it's still they're neat.
I'm sad that you didn't actually do a Washington impersonation there.
I don't
Who's
have
flying this thing?
Like a maple leaf on the wind. I like what Dodge is saying.
I am going to eat
came
you.
to the conclusion.
No, don't fill me with
travel
beer.
right now.
I'm
it's
going to.
effectively just a screen. There needs to be a more interactive aspect to it, and I think I'm going to have to pull the Wing Commander movie out here. The guy is sat there and he's calculating this bullshit and all this sort of thing. You could have someone doing the equivalent of that to shorten the quantum length because he's doing these nav coordinates, and then it becomes a bit of skill to it. Or you could just be a lazy person and just quantum.
Okay, let's talk about what is being shown here. Our corp looks pretty.
Sure does.
Very much so.
Good. We are in agreement.
I mean, they've been working on our corp for like a really long time, so I would hope so.
Wait, where am I here?
Here's a question. Do we think that cities are just going to become tourist destinations?
I think that they're going to become tourist destinations, and I need to do something important destinations. If you know what I mean. It's not. They're not. I don't think they'll be like you won't be stopping there a dozen times in a play session. You'll do that at other stations that are quicker.
I hope that they exist as like you meet the person the first time, and then every single other time you want to contact a person, you can call them up on your mobile glass, and you never have to go visit them in person again, ever. Period.
Agreed. Unless you need to kill them.
Yeah.
In which case.
If you
I could frequently see the need. Go ahead,
Please,
Jim.
Auto. No, Auto, please.
I could see the need for having to meet people for clandestine jobs face to face. Something you don't want broadcast over mobiGlass, simply because of the risk of it being intercepted or recorded. I could definitely see the need for something like that. But, hey, yeah, I finished that job for you. Would you like me to go do the next one? Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
No
yeah, that
reason
definitely doesn't need to be in...
face-to-face.
Exactly.
I think it needs to be that if you need to visit a planet, travel
There's this
time is not included in this. It needs to be something that's going to take a while, something that's worthwhile, rather than just, okay, I need to go to this planet. It's going to take me 20 minutes to go and see this dude or this contract that I need to see, and then it's 20 seconds to just sign it, and then 20 minutes to get the flip out of Dodge again. And that is what I do not want. I do not want to spend more time traveling to the place than I'm at the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up a great example right now, which is Anthem, which you go and do a mission, and then you go back to a city just to walk to a person, and all these loading times, and you load up, go to the city, walk to a person, they spew 3 lines of dialogue, and then you have to go back, hop in your Anthem, load things up, and then load out again, and it's like you keep breaking up the gameplay. One of Anthem's biggest problems is that it just breaks up the good part of it with shitty parts. The gameplay is good, and then they break it up with, oh, you have to go back to the city. Oh, you have to go to the... just let me play the frickin' game. You've got a giant open world. Just let me go play the frickin' game. No, we have to break everything up, and that's... I hope
sucks.
that... It does, and I hope that Star Citizen doesn't break things up too much. I really hope that they allow you to just MOBA glass in when you finish something, or like land at the space station and put whatever you need to give to the person in one of those shipping crates, and then leave again, and they'll get it. You don't need to go and travel the whole city to find them and deliver it by hand.
I think it will depend on what you're doing. I think there's definitely a lot of things in Star Citizen where you could legitimately be out in one location for a very long time.
Yeah, I hope so.
I also think there are going to be jobs for people who are gophers. And that's what they do. They run back and forth between places. That is actually one of the things you see. With one of the coolest bits of game design I actually saw was so like the MISC Prospector and the Hull B are designed to work together. The Prospector can dump its mining containers, and the Hull B is like the perfect size to pick them up and then fly them, to a station.
Yeah. And that's
so
cool.
You could work as a tandem, so you have one guy who's mining and another guy who's hauling. Which is really cool. And I think you'll see more things like that. And then you'll have things like the Orion, where it's just so big that if you want to fill your hold with stuff, it'll take a long time.
Yeah. So, gimbal progress. The gimbals look good. I'm glad that they're making it easy to change the sensitivity on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to matter a lot for, close to far. Oh, look, it's 10 kilometers away. I don't need uber sensitivity. Oh, look, it's right beside me. Yeah.
One thing, because it's similar to... they had another system before to assist with the HOTAS users. Not the one where it slows down your inputs, so the closer you got to the target, but another one where it actually did move the reticule. But I personally... I heard a few other anecdotal evidence for the same, but basically, when that happened, you ended up just chasing your fucking reticule and having an argument with it because you're like, no, oh Christ, and so you end up just using the fixed weapons and hoping to do that. I hope that this is I don't know, because I can't see it being much use to a mouse user.
I can.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's talk.
Because they've already got really good accuracy with the mouse.
And be overshoot all the time. That's why you want to turn down the sensitivity.
Let's talk this little bit of I don't know. Do you want to call it AutoAim?
Yeah, it is. I mean, one thing to remember again is that they did clarify after this that it'll be a lot less AutoAim than you see in this. They just wanted to basically ramp it up so it's easier to show.
Now, here's my question, and I've been asking this for like 3 years now.
Yep.
Should that be dependent on targeting computer? Should I be able to buy a targeting computer that is more expensive or worse at other things to focus it on a larger assist zone?
Yes.
Nakara, yes. Shiver?
Yes.
I want to
DJ,
take
yes.
that one step further.
Shiver, go.
I think you should just have a targeting computer. The targeting itself relies on a script that's been, you can buy stock scripts, or a player can learn to make their own scripts, and I would like to see that sort of a system.
Oh, that's
rather than
kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I one of the things that I've been really excited for since delving into the files of Star Citizen and being like, oh, every single ship has a targeting computer, like a year before they announced any of that, was this idea of that means we can have different ones. Like, I want one that allows me more auto-aim because I'm shit. Right?
Exactly.
And let it take
I
more
want help
power
with
or
me.
whatever, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're all agreed though. Auto aim is okay, especially if and the ability to customize the amount of it and like buy better computers that allow more of it is. We're okay with
The
that.
ability to turn it off in general would also be a requirement, because
Yes.
you are going to want some folks who are sharpshooters who can target specific systems on a ship.
Yeah.
And if you've got AutoAim that aims at center mass, how are you going to take out individual thrusters without having to position your ship in just such a way that it can do so?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wouldn't be able to. I will be right back. The Reliant.
Will you?
Go.
Quick, let's talk about him. No? Okay, fine.
I got nothing.
It's
Yeah.
pretty.
He's Canadian.
He is Canadian. He's got pads. Look at those.
That means something quite different.
Overall, the Reliant, I am both happy and a little mixed on it. I do feel that they have done a pretty good job with the design, but you do encounter that issue of you have pilot seat, you have co-pilot, and if you're in flight mode, your co-pilot can't get to the back to actually do stuff and see what's going on.
Yep.
So the news van, you're going to have co-pilot, pilot, and then you're going to have the camera operator. Yes, this is nice, but that breaks up what everyone can be doing quite a bit.
Yeah.
You need 3 people, or you have 2 people, but then it really does make for a slightly more difficult grouping and gameplay experience. Just because you can't get out of a seat and, okay, go sit in the camera seat.
Yeah, totally. Unless, I don't know, is there any chance they fixed that with this? They didn't talk about
Possibly
it.
that may well be the new VTOL mode, but I don't think they actually mentioned that that was being set up in 3.5.
No, I don't think so. I guess we'll have to see, but I doubt it changed. It looks good. It looks good inside. I like the attachments that they've made too.
Yeah, it otherwise looks really pretty.
So here's my question with the Reliance. All of the variants. And Auto DJ, you're right on the... Like, it's weird that you can't get out when it's up that way and yada yada. I kind of wonder... I think one of the easiest ways for them to fix that would be for them just to not have gravity in it.
Ooh.
Like, if
That'd
they
be
just
kinda interesting
don't
idea.
have gravity in the ship, you can
It's a
just...
starter ship. It doesn't come with a grav generator.
Well, why not? But I want to get...
That would be cool.
So if you look at it from this angle,
Animations, movement, physics grids.
it is such a big ship. And it really shouldn't be. the amount of wasted space in those wings. Do you know what I mean? Like,
We don't know what components are
It's
going to
not
be able to go into.
necessarily wasted space, specifically for the reason Shiver mentioned. The wings are where all of your components are. Just like other single-person fighters, in order to change, update, repair components, you will have to get out of your ship and do them that way. The Reliant does not have access to internal components.
Right.
Is going to be my guess.
That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to be out like on the side of the ship, like ripping out a piece, and there comes like a Vanduul ship, and you're like, oh,
I feel like it's too tall and too wide. You know?
wait, it can't be both. It's really, really flat, or it's really, really.
Yeah, and when it's flat, it's too wide, and when it's tall, it's too tall. It's too.
Okay, I get it. Oh, that's funny.
One thing that you
Is that
may
the
want
golden
to consider
shirt?
with that aspect,
Yes, it
yes,
is.
the golden shirt, is how it will perform in atmosphere.
Yeah. It'll be nice in Atmo. In horizontal mode.
Yep. Which is landing mode, which you'd be in, I
Yeah.
imagine.
But it really seems like it's so tall.
Are you tallest
No, I'm.
or heightest?
It doesn't need to be. You look at the Aurora, which, I mean, the Reliant is basically just a double-sized Aurora. Or at least it should be. But it's not a double-sized Aurora. It's a 19 times sized Aurora because of
Not that
those
big.
wings.
So I'm just sat here thinking of all these different uses for it. It's like I've gone through, yeah, someone's going to go spying with that, definitely. But if you're in the middle of a firefight and you're going in flat, the guns are obviously in such a position on the enemy that they are trained for a wide cross-section. Suddenly your ship becomes this
What
tall
the hell?
thing.
That
Who
was Cassie.
Did she
Is
die?
she okay?
That's just a normal sneeze.
Oh my god.
She sneezes like a dad.
Gesundheit.
That's a sneeze. That was a
Fair enough.
sneeze. Would you like to see this? Because chat just heard it. From right here.
Proves to us that she isn't injured.
Sorry.
Well, bless you.
Oh man. Spain heard it. I like that.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Did she just kill the dog?
Oh my.
That's actually the first time she's done that in the room. Normally it's like she's upstairs when she sneezes and you still hear it. This time it was in the room, so that's why it
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Reliant is 28 meters wide when it's landed.
Just who I am.
The Aurora is like 20 meters long.
long or tall. They're the same length.
No, that's my point. Is that the dominant dimension on the Reliant is its width when it's landed. The dominant dimension for the Aurora is its length when it's landed. The Aurora is 20 meters long. The Reliant is 28 meters wide. I don't think it's that egregious.
We'll see. Anyway, that's my thought on the Reliant. And that's I think that's all of our videos today, actually. Which is good, because we have made it to question time.
Can we talk about the sneeze some more?
No, we can't talk about the sneeze some more, Shiver.
I mean, does she do those in pairs, or is it just one?
Most often it's actually in pairs, yeah.
So does that like break the space-time continuum?
No, but you'd be surprised how life-threatening it is when that happens with no warning beside you while you're driving.
Have the police ever been called as a result of someone hearing the sneeze as they pass your house?
Sorry.
No, we
Sorry,
actually
have the
we actually
mountains.
we actually added extra padding, like extra like sound insulation to the house so that the police wouldn't be called. Yeah.
You can hear it outside the house, though.
Yes, you can hear it outside the house. You, as Ghost said, you can hear it in Spain.
Yep.
Has she ever considered joining a metal band?
Okay. Haramus asks,
Oh man.
what features and functions do you think will be integrated into Star Citizen after Episode 1?
Of Squadron 42.
Yeah.
Well, probably the address. I mean, all of them should be more or less simultaneous, especially because Squadron 42 Episode 1 will be feature complete long before it's released. So in that interim time, probably most of those features will make their way into Star Citizen. I mean, if you're just talking about what you think will be added to Star Citizen after Squadron 42 is done, systems, a lot of gameplay systems and star systems. So systems is the answer. Things like passenger carrying, so like the Genesis Starliner. A lot of like secondary systems, but yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
What do you think, Otto?
I have to agree that the Idris is likely one item that will not be in until Squadron 42 is completed.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, just about everything that I can think of broadly will make it into the live game long before everything goes live, because that feature complete, we're only polishing status.
Yeah.
Shiver?
I think you've covered it all, man. I mean, the only thing I can think of is possibly multi-crew. There's no multi-crew in Squadron Episode 1.
That's true. I mean, they've already kind of tried to put multi-crew in, but it's not really any good.
Yeah, I mean, like a fully fleshed, well, at least, V1 of multi-crewing.
I mean, that will absolutely be one thing that we absolutely have to have for the final Star Citizen, or the releasable Star Citizen, that we will not necessarily need for Squadron. So yeah, absolutely.
I would have to say that, Nakara, you're kind of on the right track with the systems, the like star systems idea, in that I think once Squadron, I have this weird feeling like they've known what's happening in Squadron for a long time, right? Like the story for that has been written for a long time, and Star Citizen takes place X number of years after Squadron, 5 years or whatever after Squadron. So I really have the hope that Squadron will come out, and then shortly after Squadron comes out, there will be an update to Star Citizen adding in the effects of Squadron. So
Yeah, I can see that.
So some of the people that you interacted with in Squadron might be found in the verse in Star Citizen. Things that change, the systems that you visit in Star Citizen, however they change throughout that story, might be available in Star Citizen. Like I want to see the outcome of Squadron added to Star Citizen, is what I'm trying to say.
I can see that.
I could definitely see that.
Cool. Good question. Now, Bryce Serena asks, could this content drought be the result of them not having anything really new to show that would not spoil some part, as small as it may be, of Squadron?
Could be, but I mean, they always had lots of stuff to show before, and even before that, they just bullshitted for a large period of time, which was entertaining.
I mean, I'm gonna sort of riff on that, and I think one of the main reasons that we don't have any content anymore is that they've basically said, Chris, you're not allowed to speak to anyone anymore, because anytime in the past that Chris was like, I'm gonna talk to everyone, he promised 18 new things, and they were like, oh shit. So someone muzzled Chris, and that is why we've had a content drought.
Can you really muzzle the guy who like owns the company?
Clearly.
I'm literally
Yes, you can.
picturing, Aaron on one leg of Chris, Orwin on the other, saying, "For fuck's sake,
Stop it, man.
stop promising free ice cream for everyone who plays the game."
I still think they need to park a microphone in front of Tony for like 2 hours.
That is my biggest problem still to date with Disco, is that was promised.
It wasn't promised.
They're
An
still
hour.
filming it.
It wasn't promised. Tony said I could talk about multi-crew for an hour, and everyone went, please talk about multi-crew
Promised.
for an hour.
Okay, what do we...
Do you remember a few years back they did that town hall, and they basically just had devs, mostly Chris, coming up and saying, well, this is what we're looking at to do. These are some concepts. I'd like something similar to that. The problem is how they deliver it is the kick in the ass for absolutely everyone involved. But yeah, yeah, it goes back to the content thing we were talking about earlier.
Yep.
Yep.
And for the record, I'm in this whole thing because I want Chris Roberts to basically say free ice cream for everyone who plays, but I would like us to get to
Free
V1
ice cream.
or yeah, I would like us, and then once we're in a state where it's like, okay, here is the basic foundation of the game that we were promised, and then it's like, right, let's go nuts about what the fuck we can add into this bad boy.
Yeah.
I really want that.
Agreed. Haramus asks, and Otto, I'm going to let you take this one. Should CIG consider keeping the standard of ATV and other productions like higher after major events such as CitizenCon or the New Year's streams?
I would like them to keep the standard of them high at all times, personally. But, there's only so much content, and only so much that they can say, and eventually they're just talking in circles about what they're doing.
Pretty much. I mean, I kind of like them talking in circles, because eventually something slips.
All these circles make a square.
Sure.
Guns and Glue asks, how unique do you think the Defender will be with its unique weapons and ship manufacturer?
Unique-ish.
It's going to be unique way.
Twice as unique as a ship that's just generic and with generic loadout. But unique in what way? Because it's a rather ambiguous question. I don't want to just have to take the piss, sorry. To at least try and answer the question, aesthetically, certainly. How it flies, I would imagine, because they have talked about how the different races have got different flight models. Humans being a general jack of all trades, Jean/Misk being very lateral thrusters. I think that's the right term, probably not, I'm a moron. And
That sounds like a very... anyway, I'm just gonna... No, I'm gonna let go. Go ahead.
Jean relying on six, just going up, straight down, rather than World War II. So it will be a unique fly in that regard. I'm not sure how unique the weapons will be. I mean, they got some pew pew. I'm sorry.
Can I suggest?
It's a good question.
I'm just doing this based on the looks of the Defender. I really feel like the Defender should be able to use those legs that it has as weapons. It should land on a larger ship and just start punching it.
Deal. Yeah. Just start hammering on
One
it.
thing that you have to keep in mind with the Defender is they did also mention its unique tie-in with the Merchantman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It may well actually use those legs to grab onto a merchantman and dock with it,
Yeah.
or
Very
allow the
possible.
merchantman to carry them. And it's specifically the Banyan Defender that can do that. Other ships would not be able to land and dock in such a way.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost,
Or
if
we could
Star
have
Citizen has to be
more
delayed
damage.
until 2031 for punching defenders, I am all down for that delay. That is a delay I'm right in there for.
Yeah, and by that time it'll be in VR too, so you can just like.
New scope of the game, Defender Citizen. You're a Banu Defender. Defending. Yeah. Okay.
The Bannon?
Pacific
I'll
Rim the game.
I'll shut up now. Mark 19 Monkey asks, as a new citizen, what did I just walk into? I got stoned in Christmas, bought a 600i, and now I've found that not about this thing makes sense.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
Also, welcome to the middle of game development.
Yeah. Welcome
Very
to
much so.
welcome to the portion of game development that like they'd show you normally 5 minutes at a convention somewhere of trailer, and that's all you'd see for another 2 years.
Yeah,
That's where we are right now.
we've been seeing that for like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, 11 years, something like that.
Welcome to AAA game
Let's
development
not
now.
forget that every week.
Welcome to AAA game development. And if anyone has any goddamn problem with that, how long did it take for Anthem to come out, and how shit
God.
is it?
It's about. Actually, people should know this. That game is said to have been in development for 6 or 7 years, and it is
Shit.
hot trash.
So, fuck everyone that complains about how long Star Citizen takes to develop. Guess fucking what? Period.
Takes a long time.
That's how long it takes to make a AAA game nowadays. Now, maybe that's a discussion that we should have as, is it taking too long for us to make AAA games? Do we have to reevaluate AAA games as a whole? But that is not a discussion for this podcast. That is a discussion for, I don't know.
Relatable.
Yeah.
That's a discussion for Beefcast.
Beefcast, yes.
We'll probably have another episode at some point in the future.
Because, yeah, sorry, Anthem took this. Anthem's been in development for the same time as Star Citizen. The only difference is Anthem decided to release. It wasn't ready for it. Star Citizen isn't, because guess what? It's also not ready for it.
Yeah. Well, it happens a lot, you know. Like same thing happened. Well, it's happened repeatedly recently with AAA games that have come out and they get super hyped and everyone plays them and they're like, "Yeah, it's just garbage."
Yep. M19 Monkey, don't even. 76, Fallout 76 is my best game of last year.
Okay, you like that game? 95% of people hate that game.
Yeah.
So you
But
have to
they're
allow
wrong.
for
Not fair to shit on Anthem, man. It's
Uh,
not my
no, no.
Glad that
game.
you
I've
found
not
a
touched
game
it.
you can enjoy in Fallout 76. Even though the vast majority of people dislike it, that's no reason for you to dislike it as well.
Exactly.
If you like it, play it, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Be glad that it came out.
I
it
love
enriches
it.
the world for all of us.
I love it. I think it's great. I think it's got approximately 700 times more content than Anthem.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one thing you can definitely say about Fallout 76. It kicks Anthem's ass in content.
Yep. And Sea of
Which is
Thieves and many.
sad.
Anyway.
Oh, Sea of Thieves is another really bad one. Like,
Yeah. But that's the thing. All these AAA
it
games that get
depresses me
hyped
so
up
much.
are just bad.
And then, you know, they still drag us in because occasionally we get an amazing one like RDR2.
I don't know. I haven't. It hasn't come out
No.
on PC.
Yeah, I know.
And I won't play it till
yeah.
it does. Okay. Bryce Arena asks,
Yes
has
and
there
no.
Have there been any updates about Turbulent and adding more functionality to the website? For example, Orgs 2.0.
The ship customizer is coming with 3.5. No update. I have no update for Orgs 2.0, but that is a big piece that they will have been working on. That will also allow us to paint our ships, folks.
Can't wait to see all the giant
And
flying
honestly,
cocks.
I am honestly really kind of suffering some trepidation with the ship customizer because of the potential for additional microtransactions in the funding model that could turn into some really, really, really ugly "it is pay to win"
Star Citizen with
white
that.
knights like Relay would not be able to defend against.
I can't defend. The last ship that they did, the Heartbreaker or whatever during Valentine's Day, that to me was pure pay to win.
Why was that pay to win? You don't win anything with
it was here by the best possible loadout in the game. This is the best ship with the best loadout currently.
Currently during the development phase.
Yeah, and that's dumb. But that shouldn't happen at all. I don't like that. Here's first of all the skin you can only get.
Maverick said.
You can, but no, it is pay to win because you look at something like Battlefield 5, and guess what? There's a $50 pack that says, oh, $50, you now own all of the weapons. That's pay to win because guess what? Otherwise, you have to play for 50 hours to get all. That is how pay to win happens.
It's not. Okay, that's not a bad example, but then. You could pay the $50 for all the weapons in the game and still be fucking shit at it.
You could, but they shouldn't. I don't like.
So you think the ship customizer should not exist?
No, I think that it should.
I don't have any issue with its existence. I'm concerned for the future implementation of it, based off of the potential for it to be perceived poorly. It has a very...
So if you, like... What am I trying to say here? So it's worse if you go in and customize your ship with stuff that you want and then buy it than if you just buy the ship and then buy the parts.
It's worse if they offer the shortcut.
Okay.
I don't like the shortcut as an excuse to buy it, especially not when they throw in a ship skin that can only be bought. Like, it's so much...
Well, we have no idea if it can only be bought in that. I mean, it might...
So far it can only be bought in that, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of agree with what ESPRP says up there. Pay to win doesn't work on the premise of whether you suck or not. It just means you're bypassing the work.
Yes.
And that ship skin with the best weapons was bypassing all of the work to get those weapons normally. Now, we still have a problem because it's still Star Citizen's still in alpha or whatever, and you can't get most of that. Like, everything's broken. There's nothing there. There's no game systems around getting those weapons in game. It's just everything's broken anyway. But I don't like that they offered it in the first place.
That's fair.
I think what they should have done with that was sell it as a $5 skin. Period.
Yeah.
Right? Period.
Yeah,
don't
I would
sell
agree
it,
with that, actually.
Don't sell it as a new $190 ship. That to me is
I just kind of rolled my eyes at it and continued on.
I know, but I don't want to. I don't want to roll my eyes at it. You know?
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Sorry, I kind of ranted a little bit there. I apologize.
Wait, this is the first time you've ever apologized for ranting.
You have changed my mind.
Have I?
So don't feel bad. When
Really?
you put it like that, when you explain it like that, yeah, all right, I'll agree with you.
Holy shit.
I'm on board with you.
Otto?
Oh no.
Like I said, I have concerns over the potential.
Okay. Wow.
We
How
broke
does it
him.
feel to have made a valid point?
Sorry, I'm a little stunned. Okay.
Oh,
Next.
man.
Next question here. I like that. I think that question started as a talk about Orcs 2.0.
We've had some really good questions.
Yeah,
this
sure
week.
did.
Fantastic.
Really good questions.
277E asks, okay, give me a second here. Okay. This is a long one. I've noticed an uptick in people on Reddit complaining about Squadron 42 existing. Am I wrong in thinking that if anything can kill the project, the failure of Squadron 42 would be it? Especially since they seem to be basing their future financial solvency on the success of Squadron 42 from the financials that they've released. They seem to be burning money with the 2020 release date in mind. Nakara?
Anyone who has a problem with Squadron 42 existing, then why the hell are you even here? Squadron 42, actually, I gotta tell you, no, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be blunt, but Squadron 42 is actually the original point of the whole thing. Star Citizen is the stretch goal, not Squadron 42. So, anyway, going past that, I'm just going to put it this way. Every game studio that is starting up is screwed if their first game is garbage. There you go. That's
Yep.
it. It's up to them to make sure it's not garbage. They have all of the financial leeway they're ever going to need. Most game studios that start up have to take on enormous amounts of debt to actually make their game. They have $200+ million of just free cash to make their game. So if it's bad, that's entirely their fault. I don't know. Maybe someone else has a better way to put it than that. But
No, that's a pretty accurate description.
Yep.
I do think that Squadron 42 theoretically has the potential to not kill the project. Because if it's a flop, okay, well, shit, it's going to hurt a lot. But they are developing 2 games simultaneously, the single-player campaign and Star Citizen itself. I feel that worst-case scenario, they sell them as a bundle pack so that Squadron 42 is still out there. You still get that as a single-player campaign. And then Star Citizen itself, the multiplayer game, is what ends up being the really popular thing. If that's the case, well, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. They're necessarily with story content.
that's a good point. Like, I mean, even by the time Squadron 42 is actually released, and I am adding a bit of a cushion to this. I think it'll, at the minimum, probably be the end of next year, not the beginning, or not the middle. By the time it's actually released, Star Citizen should be far enough along that, kind of regardless of what happens, it can make it to the finish line.
What do you think, Cass?
Hi, Cass.
Hey!
Welcome to the podcast.
I don't
How's
know
it
what
going?
just happened. Hey!
Cass.
What do you think about Star Citizen?
Good.
I like it.
I don't know.
By the way,
will you be playing it?
Have I played it?
Or will you play?
I might try it, yeah. I don't like that it sounds like it takes like 50 million hours to get anywhere, though.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
current
That
problem.
sort of is turning me off from it a bit because I don't really have time to
You
do
don't have
that.
50 million hours?
I
Oh,
don't
come
have
on.
50 million hours, no.
By the way, the picture you just tweeted out is amazing.
You like it?
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
I'm going to log into Relay's Twitter and retweet that. Cass just put up an amazing picture of David ranting at us in the middle of a podcast. It was great.
He does that a lot.
He does.
Yes.
And I occasionally hear you yell at him upstairs. It's good.
Yes, because I can hear him from upstairs.
Yes, I'm sure you can.
Yes. oh, hey.
What's the biggest sneeze you've ever done?
I don't know. They're all pretty awful and loud.
Well, no one said they were awful.
I did sneeze once, and David was outside, and he texted me, bless you. And he was outside, so yes, that was a little embarrassing.
You should only be alarmed when your neighbors do that.
Oh, God, what was that? Is that Auto
The
DJ?
auto DJ?
Oh,
Yes.
hello.
That's Auto DJ. What was that? I like
It's
that.
like, what was that noise? Sorry,
It's
Auto
either
DJ.
auto or fast car.
That was great.
Most of the time when you get reactions of, what is that? It is the auto DJ from the Banks Radio.
Good to know. Good to know. Nice to meet you.
A pleasure.
Okay, I'm gonna give you back David now because I don't know what I'm doing.
Do we want David?
That's
Well,
okay,
we don't,
neither do we.
we don't know what we're doing either.
It's true, we don't. Okay.
Anyway,
Sorry.
best episode ever.
Yes. So I'm assuming we didn't hit that next question, eh?
I haven't even looked at the
No.
question.
Okay, cool.
We had far more important questions to ask.
About sneezes?
Yeah.
Less
And about
salt.
who I am.
So the gorgeous triangularity asks, will we see a release of Star Citizen with 2 or 3 star systems only? I feel the schedule does not have
Squedwell?
a good enough. That's what I said.
Okay.
Output rate on the content. What are your thoughts on this? Good question.
It's probably my biggest concern. I really hope they don't release it with like one system.
I don't think they can do one.
There will be far more than one system.
I think the number that's always been on my mind is I think they'll release with 5, and then they'll add more.
I keep thinking between 5 and 10.
Yeah.
5 at the low end, 10 at the high end. That's my...
See, I could see it being closer to 10 if they kind of, I don't know, cheat and make things like Pyro, which, not Pyro, sorry, Nyx, which is just, all they have to do is like take Delamar and shove it into its proper system. It's the only landing zone in that system. And
you know
things
what?
like Pyro, which don't have a landing zone, things like Odin, which are going to be done for Squadron, things like Vega, which have to be done
Yeah.
for Squadron.
I want to
think
quickly...
they could cobble together one.
I want to quickly
Can I
talk...
I'll quickly
Go.
quickly say that development often is an uphill battle until you get to the point where you can suddenly snowball the development and everything just fits in place. So yeah, at the moment it will look like an uphill battle, and then once they get to the point where it's like, oh, well, here we are, it's just gonna all happen at once. It
Yeah.
should anyway.
They're going to need to, and actually, Chris talked about this one time. I do think you'll see at some point a big splurge of hiring for them for like environment artists and technical artists, where they're basically going to hire a bunch of people to build star systems, and that's all they'll do.
I want to ask everyone here a question because Bryce Arena brings up a good point and a question in there. So his prediction is 5 to 10 systems with an in-lore reason. why we can't visit the others. Quick, what are your thoughts on an in-lore reason why we wouldn't be able to visit the other systems at launch? Go, Nakara.
Me. Well, they've hinted pretty much since the beginning that there's going to be a civil war between Terra and Earth. That could definitely do it.
Otto, anything?
Potential military blockade, potential pirate blockade, potential vandal blockade, potential environmentalists being concerned that jump drives are actually damaging the jump gates between systems. There's many reasons that they could come up with in lore. I can't really pick one that would be any more likely than the other. All we really need to do is watch any of the episodes about Star Trek where warp drive wasn't working.
Yeah.
Shiver, anything?
Loads, they've lost the entrance to the wormhole. There's possible Vandal on the other side. Don't go through there. There's Jehovah's Witnesses waiting for you.
Keep in mind, they've already put.
They've confirmed Jehovah's Witnesses?
I mean, yeah.
I think you have to be baptized and confirmed to be a Jehovah's Witness, don't you?
Possibly.
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sorry if I accidentally offended your religion.
Fucking
religion.
I just
It
wanted
wasn't.
to mention,
It wasn't accidental, Shiver. We know.
They've already put the bug in our ear that jump points can degrade and switch locations and just cease to exist.
That's what I was going to say. Damn it.
Oh, I took it from you. And I just wanted to also mention Bryce Serena said a point. What did he say? Oh, Operation Pitchfork. It could be possible that maybe they'll just kill all of the players in Operation Pitchfork. They'll be like, yeah, that's it.
I would like that.
Game over.
Okay, so I want to get through these last ones really quickly. 277E asked, I've noticed most people I talk to who say they'd be interested in Squadron 42 either refuse to jump until it's finished or simply have never heard of it before or didn't know it existed. Do you think that there's a large single-player crowd out there like myself who simply haven't jumped in yet? That's been my impression. Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are tons of people.
Otto?
Tons of people.
Without a doubt, there are plenty of people that have paid zero attention to development because they're not interested in the multiplayer game at all, and that's all that's being talked about and all that's being released.
Yeah.
That's also part of what the marketing thing is. They're going to market Squadron 42. Not always everything is Star Citizen.
Yeah.
I pay a lot of attention to the development largely because I'm really interested in the development. It's really, really neat being able to watch this. Star Citizen as a whole has me less interested than Squadron 42. I'm excited to play through Squadron 42.
Yeah.
We got that one.
I would like to mention that this whole development thing will actually be worth it if something happens and Squadron 42 comes out, but Star Citizen never does. And Squadron 42 and Squadron 42 is spectacular.
Yeah.
Because even developing a game like Squadron 42, which is probably going to be, I'm guessing now, probably looking at 30 to 40 hour like single player game. That is the goal of a lot of AAA developments that cost this much money, and they,
Well,
that's it.
It's actually kind of interesting.
Wasn't it already confirmed to be a 50-hour game at this point?
Probably it is. I can't remember the most recent confirmed, but there is a lot of content in there.
I follow Jim Sterling on Twitter, and one thing that he was saying this week that I actually found really interesting and kind of agree with is something like Uncharted 1. A 6 to 10 hour single player only experience would no longer be greenlit.
It's too well, those are indie games now. They exist, but they're indie games.
But like a AAA would no longer be greenlit.
No.
A AAA now has to be either multiplayer online all the time or like 40, 50 hours.
Or more like 10 to 20.
Or if you actually
With multiplayer.
Or if you actually want to make that game, people won't pay $60 to $80 for it anymore.
Yeah.
If you want to make that game, you can make it, but they're going to pay $30 for it or less.
I have a very specific example of something that had just gone live.
Go for it.
What about Far Cry New Dawn? How many hours is that particular playthrough for the story mode? And
It's
it
more an
doesn't
expansion.
have any multiplayer aspect.
It's more an expansion of Far Cry
It's
5, though.
actually a sequel to Far Cry 5.
Right.
It is not an expansion because it takes place at a completely different point in time.
But it's
In and of
priced.
itself, the game
It's priced
can't be
$30 less, right?
played. No.
No? I thought it was.
As far as I'm aware, it was priced at the full price, same as Far Cry 5 when it went live.
I thought it was priced less, but I mean,
It's $50
Well, it is.
Canadian.
it's $50 Canadian, and Far Cry 5 was $80, so it's
Yeah.
$30 less than Far Cry 5 was. It's
And Far Cry New Dawn is apparently 15 to 30 hours.
it's an interest. That one's an interesting one, but Ubisoft are different, and yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting point that was made. Two more questions that I want to get through quite quickly. Drew asks, when is episode 2 coming out?
Squadron 42 episode 2?
Yeah, I'm going to say 3 years after Squadron 42 episode 1.
Yeah, but that was what they said. They said 3 years after Squadron 42 episode 1, and then after, I think they were thinking 3 years for each of the Squadron sequels, and then after those, they wanted to continue to make single player games, and those they were hoping to do 2 years each.
Yeah.
And I think that those ones, the ones that come after the 3 episodes of Squadron, will probably be games that introduce being able to play as a different race. That's my personal opinion. I think you'll have a Banu campaign, and then you'll have like a Xi'an campaign, and so on and so forth.
I also wouldn't mind seeing small expansions on different points in the timeline. Like, it might be interesting to play during the first skirmishes between humans and Vanduul, for example, or the Tavaran War. Like, exploiting some of the lore of Star Citizen, and yeah,
Definitely.
The only drawback with having to do the Tavaran War, as awesome as that would be, is it would require designing and producing an entire new suite of ships
Yes.
and weapons and everything, because you have to keep in mind, all of the ships that they are releasing now in Star Citizen, they're apparently new ships that have just recently been created versus the older ships, which aren't necessarily always around for things like the Tavaran War or when we first met the Vanduul.
but
I think the Bengal is old enough. The Idris is old enough.
they could
The
get away.
Retaliator.
They could
There's-
get
there's-
away with
there's a few.
developing like 20 or 30 for a single player campaign, right?
This is true.
So
This is very true.
there is a lot of potential yet, I think, anyway. Try asks, so space brawling as a game mechanic. Yeah, I mean, we've known that that's been in since the Reclaimer was announced. Hey, thanks, Buck.
Thank you.
And that's it for the
Waiting
questions.
as hard as I can.
That's
Your
it for the
your wave farm should wave.
That's it for the questions. So,
It's
Auto
to beat 'em.
DJ, thank you so much for being on. It was really short notice. Jake was supposed to be on, but AT&T screwed up his internet, and he has no internet. So, thank you so much, Auto DJ, for filling in. I know that your duties on the base keep you pretty occupied 24/7, but it was really nice of you to devote some processing power over to us.
Pornography deleted.
Sure.
Damn, that's quite the sacrifice.
Yeah. Shiver, Nakara, good to have you guys on, as
Hi.
always. Hi.
We're having a patron meetup in like
Now.
14 minutes.
Yeah. So, if you're one of our patrons, come join us in Discord for a brief patron meetup.
I'm not going to obligate these guys too, but I'm going to stay for an hour.
I might be sneezed at if I stay for an hour, but we'll see.
More
But
reason to become a Patreon.
You should just park her in the chair again.
I should just let her chat to everyone. Seriously though, thank you everyone for coming out and listening and watching and asking us questions and all that jazz. And you'll see Nakara tomorrow morning in about 10 hours.
It's basically tonight.
Tonight, 10 hours from now, if you want.
Anybody who wants to watch Crew Dragon dock to the space station with me, please let me know in Space Race. If nobody says it, I'm probably not going to stream it.
Yeah.
So yeah, come and let me know. I will be watching it regardless. But yeah.
Go listen to the Auto DJ 24/7 at the Base Radio. Go listen to
.sc.
.sc. The Base is just the Base.sc. Yeah. The Base
You can visit
Radio.
us on the spectrum 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at thebase.sc. If you'd like to see when any of our live DJs are opting to take my programming off the air, you can visit us at thebase.sc/schedule.
Go listen to Shiver with Dead Air, where he plays some, I think it's called Metal?
Yes.
Oh,
Metal?
I've got some dark wave. I
Dark
have no
wave.
idea what the other thing is that I've found, but it's interesting.
Dark
and then,
wave.
Yeah, it's a shitload of black metal.
Dark
Oh, and
Wave.
thrash.
Is that a genre?
Yeah,
Wow.
It is a genre
Very
of
old.
synthwave.
yeah.
Cool.
But it's-
Yes.
Yeah, it's like synthwave had a baby with goth.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Go check that out. And otherwise, we'll see you in a week on the relay station. We've got pineapples. Yay!
I like pineapples.